Welcome to The Evidence-Based Marketer, a podcast focused on the science of marketing with a special emphasis on financial services. Whether you're looking to grow your business or provide a better client experience, we focus on how you can use data and research and time-tested strategies to be a more effective marketer.
You visit a website. You download a guide. In order to download this guide, you've now had to put in your name, your email address, and possibly more information. You notice that within a week, you have an email in your inbox with more information, more education, a few more links for you to click on. You click on one of those links and notice, hey, I got another email, and it seems to be learning more about what you're looking for, what you're doing, what you're looking to purchase. And you decide, now's the time for me to purchase this service or purchase this product. That is marketing automation in action. Welcome to the Evidence-Based Marketer. I'm Andrea Loyne.
And I'm William Chettle with Symmetry Partners. And if you think about it, marketing automation, it seems like it's been around forever. And it's something that has really, I think, changed the very nature of marketing, especially evidence-based marketing. But it's only came about in 1992, and the first marketing automation system was Unica. And for it to really come about, you needed good email systems, you needed the internet and a few other technologies. But it has been absolutely transformational. And whether you're a small firm or a large firm, if you're not using marketing automation, I'd say that you're probably missing out on a lot of opportunities. And so what we're going to focus in on today is, what is marketing automation? What are some best practices around it? What are some of the major providers in the system? And then, how do you actually go and implement it? And I think one of the interesting things is that the term automation is used, and there's certainly a lot of aspects of it that require automation, but like all things, it requires human ingenuity, human insight, and really just a strategy behind it for it to really be effective.
Yeah, it's not set it and forget it as you might think it would be. But marketing automation, it's a technology that manages marketing processes, multifunctional campaigns via email across multiple digital channels. And with this, businesses can target customers with automated messages, with customized emails back based on links that they've clicked, and really target what this prospect is looking to purchase and get them to buy.
As well as landing pages, also customized websites. And this customization is really important because we have the ability, based on whatever we know about you, to actually provide a very customized experience. And, we don't, as marketers, ever want to be creepy about it, but we are learning at every interaction and can respond accordingly. And, it can be as simple as you, on the web, you click on a pair of shoes, and then that pair of shoes follows you around forever. That's some form of marketing automation. Or you got an email from the company saying, "Hey, were you thinking about buying this pair of shoes?"
Yep,
and
or you left it in your cart. I've seen those emails come through as well.
Yeah, and we're all kind of used to that now. And sometimes it's so annoying that I actually avoid certain companies because I just know that if I look at their shoes, they're going to bombard me for the next week or two about the shoes, and I really didn't want that shoe after all. But used effectively, this is an incredible way to actually nurture prospects, nurture clients at scale. And in fact, it's a great tool for our sales teams to use as well because it gives them insights into what prospects are doing. You have the ability to score prospects on behavior so that the sales team can follow up with those people who are most interested. And it's something we've been using at Symmetry now for, about a year or so?
About a year now.
About a year. And I've used it other places in my career, and I just actually cannot imagine a modern marketing department without a marketing automation system.
Well, most marketing departments out there aren't huge. You're not going to have this massive marketing team of 25 people to support. So you want to make sure you can do things at scale. And at this point, I don't think you can do things at scale without some sort of marketing automation. That it's got to be in place. Now, like you said in the beginning, it's not set it and forget it. And you have a lot of, intellectual processes that have to take place before you set it. But you can put in place a workflow of emails and follow-ups and scores that allow you to really get to know your leads, your prospects, and allows your sales team to free up a little bit more time to nurture the leads that are further down the process. So you're doing all of this really for scalability.
And insights. So let's just take a very simple example. You send out a monthly newsletter. and you just look at what your clients or your prospects click on. But we'll just take the example of clients. And you notice that a client clicked on an article on, we'll use a financial example, on Roth IRAs. Now you could do a bunch of things. You could call that client and say, I saw you were interested in Roth IRAs. You could set up a campaign to actually send them further emails and educational materials on Roth IRAs. That is really your option. But you now have that insight that this is something that they might actually be interested in, and then you can act accordingly. And previously, we didn't actually know that. We didn't know until somebody actually bought something whether they're interested. Now we know if they're window shopping digitally and are able to act on that. And again, score that behavior over time and provide an ever more customized, ever more personalized experience.
Yeah, with marketing automation, you can do things like personalize the emails. If you, studies are finding that if you simply put the prospect's name in the subject line, your chances of getting them to open that email increase immensely. So how do you do that at scale? Well, with a marketing automation platform, you can actually put in that personalization token that, hey, they've clicked on that Roth IRA link. Now they get another email and it says, your subject line is more information for you, Diane, on Roth IRAs. And simply by doing that at scale, you're going to get them to open that email and move it even further down the line. And some other things you can do with this is having a robust CRM next to your marketing automation platform. You can put this in your CRM to discuss Roth IRAs at their next, quarterly meeting if they're a customer.
Yeah, and you can gather information on every client who has clicked on Roth IRAs, or it could be personal, just everybody who has a birthday in March. And then you could, build campaigns around that. And of course, one of the great things that you can also do is A/B testing, which most of these systems make super easy. And I know this is something, that you have a lot of passion around, Andrea.
Yeah, for me, it's all about the numbers, right? Numbers don't lie. Whatever we like as a marketing department is wonderful. And we have great designers, and I'm sure every marketing department out there does have a great designer. But you're not going to be able to see what your customers want until you've put it out in the world. We have a monthly newsletter here at Symmetry, and we wanted the subscription button, the encouraging people to subscribe to our newsletter. We wanted it to get more traction, and we A/B tested it. We had a nice navy blue button with some white lettering, and we put it in one section, and then we had another version of it with a yellow button, bright yellow, and navy blue writing. And we thought, okay, well, that's a bit too much. Nobody's going to click on that one. Obviously, the blue one's going to win. And it turned out after 2 months, maybe even 3 months of A/B testing, more and more people were clicking on that yellow button. So it won, and that became our standard. But without doing that, we were wrong, right? And it's not that it was a bad design. It's that it's not what our customers wanted. So now we've been able to hone in and give our customers just a little bit more of what they want.
Mm-hmm. And we're relentless about this, and any marketer should, because in financial services, for example, the open rate for emails is somewhere around 18%, 18.1, I think is the exact number. And we want to get there, and we want to get beyond that. And so we're constantly looking at what can we do, improve the buttons, improve the subject line, improve the length, testing a whole variety of things to try to get above that 18.1%. And, in some respects, metrics can be what they're often referred to as vanity metrics, that, you're just doing is the metric for the sake of the metric, and you're forgetting that, you can have 100% of people open your emails, but if it doesn't lead to business,
wasn't successful.
It was not successful. And so ultimately, you have to use the actual success of revenues, or, however you are actually measuring business success. But it is important as marketers to try to control the metrics that you can and be aware of them and be relentless about them. And it's not generally, you're not going to see huge changes. You're going to see incremental changes, and you have to be okay with, I'll get better 1% this month and 1% the next month, and know kind of where you're headed with that.
And we at Symmetry have seen that happen as well. It's not an immediate, oh, wow, all of a sudden we went from a 5% open rate to a 25% open rate, but you may go from a 5% to a 7% to, incrementally hitting 25%, but it's going to take a little while to get there. Marketing automation, what it does is it helps you to get there in a more strategic way. We talk about evidence-based marketing. Well, there's no more evidence that something's working than a marketing automation, campaign. You can look at What did people click on? What didn't they click on? Was it even worth having it there? What really got the sale? What really got that person to take the next step? And you can't see that without the data behind it.
Yeah, and you have to look at it. One of the fundamental questions in marketing is, how hard is your brand working for you? And not enough people can answer that question. One of the nice things about marketing automation and a focus on metrics is it allows you to do that. Anything else that we need to cover on metrics?
I don't think at this point, no. I would say this about when you're setting up your campaigns. One thing not to forget is forms are also part of marketing automation. So that can be your trigger event to kick off a campaign. So that comes in handy when you're setting up, how do you get in front of these people, right? You don't want to drip on one or two people, but if you can drip on the people that have filled out your forms, it's going to help.
So how do we actually put this in place? Okay, I believe you. I think this sounds great. What do I do next?
Well, there's a number of tools out there. There's HubSpot. You have Constant Contact. You have MailChimp. You have some bigger players like Marketo and Pardot. They're all out there, and they're all great tools. Some are easier to use and put into place. Some are meant for those larger marketing departments who have web developers on their staff. We here at Symmetry, we use HubSpot. I've worked with advisors who use both Constant Contact and MailChimp. Every day, these services are evolving. So where MailChimp was no competitor in the space, now they are, and they can do things like your landing pages. They do custom workflows. They have workflow templates. So you can onboard a new client with one automation setup that they already have in their system. You just have to make a few tweaks and you set it and you go. So there's tools out there to help you. And that's what I would say, where you start is research the best tool for your practice. If you're, a 1 to 10 man shop, something like a Marketo is just going to be too much for you. But something like a HubSpot or a MailChimp would be right up your alley because they're drag and drop editors, meaning you're not going to have to code something into your emails. They do the A/B testing for you. The metrics are all there together. So, and most of those will somehow plug into a good CRM. So you'll be able to get that data directly into your CRM.
Yeah, and I've worked with some of these other tools out there, and some are really, really complex, and they're great. They're powerful, but they are for the average size marketing department that is maybe not a global marketing department focusing on hundreds of thousands of customers and a variety. I know marketing automation systems that can get down to the level of serving up ATM messaging, which is great if you have ATMs.
Yeah.
But if that's not your business, that may be more firepower than you need. And I think, in general, I think in most professions, but especially marketing, I think simplicity wins. And I think that a simple solution that gets you 95% of what you need is better than a complex solution that gets you 110% of what you need.
Right. And you want to make sure that, you're not biting off more than you can chew, because then the marketing automation isn't scalable. It's not a helpful tool for you at that point. If you're having to spend more time getting everything set up than you would, sending individual emails, then it's not working for you. You want to find a tool that will make it very easy for you to get set up. MailChimp takes, no time, but they also walk you through it. They don't really have a dedicated service team yet that onboards you, but they definitely have tools there for you. Whereas HubSpot gives you a dedicated team that walks you through not only getting the basics set up, but getting, some specifics to your firm and your business set up. So just depends on what scale of, customer service and interaction you're looking for that you'll get with each of these platforms.
And I think it's also important for the platform that you choose that if you do have a sales team, that they're very tightly integrated with it, and it's easy for them to understand. We've had a great deal of success with HubSpot because it's something that our sales team intuitively understands. It's easy for them to follow. It's easy for them to see who they've got to call. We are able to assign tasks based upon behavior, so that if somebody, for example, downloads a white paper, that turns into a task for somebody to call and follow up and check in and see what the person's opinion on the white paper was, et cetera. It's even got systems in place that allow people to schedule meetings with our sales team directly from their email. So I think it's sometimes marketing departments forget how important it is to partner with sales. And maybe that's not every business, but I think most businesses. And, we should probably do an episode at some point on sales and marketing and best practices there. But favorite quote of mine in this space is that sales keeps you in business and marketing keeps you in sales. So being able to have a common view of the client, of the prospective client, having a tool that you're all able to use and access and understand very easily, I think is super important.
Yeah, and that's the benefit of, HubSpot is one of those marketing automation platforms that also has a built-in CRM. So you're capturing all of the content. Something like MailChimp will, plug into a Redtail CRM. There's just a third-party plugin that needs to happen, and it can do that as well. So it's just a little bit more work to get it set up, but I would highly recommend finding one that works with your CRM because, like William said, having a sales team, having the interaction, and having the ability to see, and track a process, that's huge. And to do it both in your CRM and your marketing automation platform is only going to make your life a little bit easier down the line. I mean, 74% of advisors that InvestCorp did a survey with report that the most significant benefit of automation and implementing a marketing automation plan, it's time saved. So they're saving time. Yes, you're going to spend a little bit of time up front, but you're going to save a lot of time on the back end.
Yeah, and we haven't even mentioned how you could use it with social media and some of these abilities to kind of automate or post at scale.
Again, there's different platforms for this to help you. Instead of going to each and every social media platform that you have, there are tools out there that will put them all together. If you make one post, it'll put that post on every one of your channels that you have as long as they're connected. Again, HubSpot has this as a tool that is available with their program, with their platform. There's platforms such as Hootsuite out there that is just based on social media and automating that for you. So dig around, see what's out there. All of this does have a cost. There are some free versions, but all of this does have a cost. But again, it's not going to be as high a cost as having a marketing person on staff to do all of this for you.
And the other thing which is nice is, yes, there's a cost, but with systems like this, you're actually able to see, and this is really important for marketers, the impact that you've had. So at the start of the year, we promised our sales team that we would give them 100 leads a month. And many people in marketing thought that was insane,
including myself,
that we would never do that. And now we were averaging at least 2 to 3 times that every month. And we're able to actually see where they came from. Did they come from social media? Did they download a white paper? Did they go to a landing page? Was it an email that they interacted with? And actually be able to track it through end to end. And look, especially in a complex B2B business like ours, there's going to be a lot of people that are involved in the sales process, and you can't just generally say, oh my gosh, because they opened that one email, they became a client. It's not as easy as like open an email, click on a product and buy it. But we are able to actually show an ROI. We're able to actually show that we contributed to someone becoming a client and actually be able to track it with a fair degree of exactitude and be able to show results and be able to put dollars behind those results. And that's really, I think, super important, but also helps you when you're thinking about, should I invest in this, should I spend this? You will be able to track whether it was a good investment. And I think for most firms, most companies, it makes an enormous amount of sense.
Yeah, we actually connected our website to our marketing automation platform. So not only can we see the statistics on email opens or landing pages, but when someone goes to our website and downloads a brochure, it automatically connects to our marketing automation where it starts a sequence of emails based on what they clicked. And doing so, we've gotten multiple, new clients simply from downloads or processes that started just by them hitting our website. So you'll see that there is an ROI, but not only is there an ROI, but it results, having a marketing automation setup, a strategy, results in an average 12% reduction in the overhead costs of marketing. So not only are you bringing in more dollars, but you're putting less dollars out in those marketing efforts. So it seems like a win-win.
So if someone wants to get started and they find some platform that they like and keep it relatively simple, what kind of skills are they going to need in order to make this successful? Because we've talked about web, we've talked about email, we've talked about design. So what kind of array of skills are you going to need or types of people or functions?
So there's depending on the platform that you choose, I'll go with the one that we know. We know HubSpot. So you're going to need to be able to watch a couple videos and get yourself started on setting up emails. Now, setting up emails, they've made this a very simple process of drag and drop. If you want to put an image in, you grab the image button and you drop it in.
And most of these services have pretty good templates.
Very good templates. And then, landing pages is the same. You can get a template and just fill in your information. And it actually walks you through the process of, okay, here's what else you need. Here, you need to set up this form and then put it on your landing page. Well, that's a really easy thing that you pull in. You just go to your form and you drop it in. So I don't think there's not a lot of web development expertise needed. There is a bit of a design element to it. But again, these templates that are out there, you put in your colors as a universal. So your brand colors, you put them in universally. So as you put a template in, it's going to pull your universal brand colors in. So you're not doing too much in the additional design. And then content, you just use the content that you have already, and you're just putting it out there in different ways.
So some writing, some design, but it's not overwhelming. So that you've got these basic skills.
Yeah, and like I've said, most of these platforms have a great knowledge base behind it, that if you're willing to spend just a little bit of time, if you want to get trained, by the company itself, some of them do offer that, and then others offer these knowledge bases that give you blog posts or articles that help walk you through that process very simply. HubSpot's knowledge base, you type in what you want, and it gives you step-by-step directions on how to get things done.
And costs for these typically range from,
They can be, so you're looking at a monthly charge, but most of them take that monthly charge and bill annually. Depending on the number of contacts you have, you're looking anywhere from $500 a month on up to about $1,200 to $1,300 a month. Again, how robust you want these platforms
right.
to
And
be.
at the upper end, if you have hundreds of thousands of clients, it could be tens of thousands of dollars a month.
Yes, if you have hundreds of thousands of clients, you could spend, because most of them are based on contact number. You're going to have a set base price for a marketing automation platform, but they base that on the number of contacts. So you purchase a certain number of contacts. So you'll spend, if you have hundreds of thousands of contacts, but if you have between 5,000 and 10,000 contacts, it's not gonna be an astronomical spend for you.
Yeah, I really think that unless you're sort of a one-person shop serving literally a handful of clients, I don't know how you can do business these days without having something like this.
Right. And if you have a handful of clients, if you have 150 to 200 clients, HubSpot has a free version that might even work for you. And then you just pay for the marketing services that you want. So you could be looking at a smaller cost.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Next time, we are going to focus on how you can actually create better content, whether it's through your marketing automation system or on your website or newsletters and white papers and the like. Until then, please do come and join us at theevidencebasedmarketer.com. Watch our episodes, find out more about us, and we look forward to chatting again soon. I'm William Chettle.
I'm Andrea Loin. Thank you.
Symmetry Partners, LLC is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in states where it is properly registered, excluded or exempted from registration requirements. No one should assume that future performance of any specific investment strategy, product, or non-investment related content made reference to directly or indirectly in this material will be profitable. As with any investment strategy, there is the possibility of profitability as well as loss. Due to various factors, including changing market conditions and/or applicable laws, the content may not be reflective of current opinions or positions. Please note the material is provided for educational and background use only. Moreover, you should not assume that any discussion or information contained in this material serves as the receipt of or as a substitute for personalized investment advice.
Please note that nothing either stated or implied on this podcast is intended to be compliance or legal advice regarding your marketing program.